No, it's about Elizabeth.
Elizabeth who?
Elizabeth Purley.
Oh, she's dead.
No, she isn't.
She is, darling. I should know.
I should know.
Look, sweetheart, she's my mother. She went in 1961.
No, I mean baby Elizabeth Purley.
Baby Elizabeth? Who is this?
Secrets and Lies, it's a film that came out in 1996 and is written and directed by Mike Leigh. So Secrets and Lies was last week's Pager Poll winner, and I was absolutely ecstatic that it won for a lot of different reasons, but mostly because of the fact that Jen blind bought it during the last Criterion Haul. I think it was 2 Criterion Hauls ago, but we just do so many Criterion Hauls, I just kind of forget which one's which at this point. But she blind bought it during a Criterion Haul, based off of my good friend Mike's recommendation. For those of y'all that watched the second Criterion Haul of July, you'll know that my good friend Mike came down from Boston to hang out with us and do a Criterion Haul video with us. And he was raving about Secrets and Lies. He had nothing but excellent things to say about the film. And based off of his opinion alone, Jen decided to blind buy it. And I'm so happy that she did, because I gotta tell you, after watching Secrets and Lies, this was one of the most intense, beautiful, and moving cinematic experiences that I've ever seen. This movie is so impressive on so many different levels. It's emotional, it's at times hilarious, it's dramatic, it's brilliantly acted. Everything about this movie just exceeds on all levels. And even though Mike had a lot of love for this film, I was still a bit skeptical because I have seen Naked, which is another Mike Leigh film, and that's a film that a lot of people absolutely love. And to be fair, I probably should give it a fair rewatch, because at this point I think I've seen it over a year ago, and I remember being pretty exhausted during the day when I watched it. But I do remember not being that huge on it. I did like the movie, but I just didn't quite see what was so brilliant about it. But here with Secrets and Lies, this was a film that as soon as it cut to black and the credits started rolling, I knew that this was going to be one of my favorite films of all time. And what's also really awesome about this film is that it got nominated for 5 Oscars, which is totally well deserved. But at the same time, it's tragic because it didn't win a single one of those 5 Oscars. And even though I do believe that it deserved at least 2 or 3 Oscars, at the very least, the Best Actress in a Leading Role nomination should have been a given. Brenda Blethyn in this film is a tour de force. She gives a brilliant, emotional, and again, quite humorous performance in some points. But even though I really love Frances McDormand in Fargo, and y'all know I have a whole review on Fargo, and I give that film a 10 out of 10. I do think it's a masterpiece and one of Coen's top 3 greatest films. But I'm sorry, I just think objectively, Brenda in this film just gives a much more impressive and emotionally difficult performance to pull off. And she just absolutely blew me away in this film. There's a really long take in this film. There's really 2 long takes in this film that go on for seemingly forever. But one in particular, that's the cover of the Criterion and is the wallpaper behind me. That scene goes on for I don't even know how long, but the take never seems to cut. But the back and forth dialogue between Brenda and Marion Jean-Baptiste is so convincing and so authentic and so intense and heartbreaking. It's just so effective and so moving. And again, insanely impressive. I don't know how many times Mike Leigh had to do different takes of this scene, but the scene is incredibly long and the acting for it is so demanding. And for Brenda to be able to pull this scene off, and also Marion Jean-Baptiste, even though her performance in this film is a bit more subdued than hers, but even her performance in this film is quite difficult to pull off because she has to also pull off an emotionally charged performance, but her character is designed to be a bit more dialed back. and a little bit more contained. So a lot of her emotions are going to come off a bit more subtle, but still very powerful and convincing. But yeah, just for Brenda to be able to pull this off, and Mike Leigh as a director and filmmaker to be able to pull a scene like that off to me, this is why cinema is so beautiful. It's stuff like that truly floors me and reminds me how beautiful of an art form filmmaking is. And as I mentioned, there's also another long take that takes place during a barbecue. It's basically the third act and climax of the film. And that long take at the barbecue is also excellent. It's not as heart-wrenching or gut-wrenching as the previous really long take, but it's a scene that's so incredibly awkward and intense because a lot of the characters that are here at this barbecue, at this family gathering, are ignorant of who Marion Jean-Baptiste's character actually is because they're not told the truth about who she is. And it makes that scene incredibly effective filmmaking. It's one of those scenes where it really does feel like a ticking time bomb. And then sure enough, eventually the bomb does go off in this incredible emotional finale that is so unforgettable and incredibly thematic and emotional. A lot of this film is about the importance of honesty and the consequences and rewards that can come from uncovering and discovering the truth. And a lot of the tension and the drama that is built up in this family and a lot of its dysfunction is built upon the fact that there's a lot of characters that are simply not honest about themselves and about other people. And it isn't until Marion Jean-Baptiste's character gets thrown into the mix and the revelation of her character and its relevance to the family, it isn't until all that gets revealed that the whole family just starts to implode. But it implodes for the better. It's a much needed and healthy implosion, if you will. But one other thing I really loved about this film is simply its authenticity. Everything about this film, in my opinion, feels absolutely natural and realistic within its presentation. Whether it be the writing, the acting, and the directing, and really all that coming together to make something that truly does feel genuine, and nothing really feels theatrical or over the top. And what's an incredible fun fact about this film is that apparently Mike Leigh actually withheld information from all the actors that play the characters in the film that don't know who Marion Jean-Baptiste's character is in the film. So in other words, the actors themselves were only revealed the shocking information in the film with the characters in real time. So whenever you're watching the film and you see the character learn about these, shocking revelations, that was also the first time the actor themselves learned it. And that's just, I think if that's true, I think it definitely helped elevate the authenticity of this film and making it to where all of the emotional responses and reactions to everything feel that much more realistic and that much more intense and heartbreaking. But another really neat fact about this film is that even though it got nominated for Best Screenplay, which it damn sure should have, apparently a lot of the dialogue in this film is improvised. And I imagine that it would have to be if you're going to go the route of withholding important information from your actors. But again, I think that's something that really helps the film feel off the cuff and incredibly authentic, and making it to where the emotional responses, not only from the actors and the characters, feel that much more genuine, but even from the audience member themselves. And yeah, even though this film is around 2 hours and 20 minutes long, it truly flies the hell by. I did not feel an ounce of this film's runtime. And honestly, after the film was over, I wanted more. And there's nothing wrong with the film. It's just, I was just so enthralled and engaged with every minute of this film that I just didn't want that cinematic experience to end. Honestly, there's really nothing wrong with this movie. In my humble opinion, every phase of this movie excels on a whole other level. The writing is brilliant. The improvisation of the dialogue is brilliant. The direction is spot on. Mike Leigh, super impressive stuff. I can't wait to see more of what he's done. The acting all around is absolutely incredible. And I do also believe that this film has a really important and powerful message about honesty, and also about the consequential and rewarding nature of truth-seeking. And it really shows you that even though you might be extremely ashamed of something that you've done in your life, If you can sense that keeping it a secret is weakening the relationships that you find most important, then you should really consider just opening up and being honest about certain things, especially if you know that it has the potential to really strengthen the bonds with people that you love. And I feel like this film was able to express these really powerful messages and themes beautifully. So I'm going to give Secrets and Lies a 10 out of 10. Yeah, this is a film that I would consider flawless. This is a film that I would consider to be a masterpiece. This is a film that I'm probably gonna watch a lot during my life. And that's another great thing about this film is that this film is incredibly rewatchable in my opinion. Yes, it's heavy, but it's not so incredibly heavy like other films that I would consider to be a masterpiece, like The Pianist or Moonlight. Because even though those films are masterpieces, it's not one of those films you can just pop in like whenever you want because it's just gonna take so much out of you. Secrets and Lies does take a bit out of you, but at the same time, it's an engaging and it's pretty entertaining and at times comedically effective. So this is a film that I could watch pretty much any day of the week. So huge thanks to a lot of people. Thank you to all of my patrons who voted for this film, really voted for any film, but I'm just really glad that this film won the patron poll because I obviously really loved it. Huge thanks to Mike for giving this film high praise and recommending it in the first place. Huge thanks to Jen for blind buying this and making it a valuable part of my Criterion collection. And thanks to everybody who watched this video and has supported and subscribed to my channel for so long. And if you're brand new to this channel, I welcome you with open arms and hope that you'll stick with me for the forever future. But anyways, that's all I gotta say about Secrets and Lies. If you really enjoy what I had to say about the film, just give it a thumbs up and share it amongst your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to be updated on more film-related content.